Señueta, Bribia, member Grumano. Sa station we are namiti. Into also for video tour. The table what? Data Kennedy, Macram.
To live and not know what state of God you are, it's a disaster. To not know your purpose is a tragedy. It's a disaster. To live and not know what state of God you are, it's a disaster. To not know your purpose is a tragedy. It's a disaster.
To live and not know your purpose is a disaster.
I'll be gone.
To live and not know the state of God that you are
Wake up, wake up, wake up.
is a tragedy.
For living now.
That is Purpose song by Fafa.
In this you will be.
And when you hear this tune once again, it tells you we are on mentoring hour. Yeah, we've been on a break just for about a week or so. Oh yes. Today we're back. The 24th of July 2021 with another edition of 1-to-1 mentoring hour. Sorry. Coming your way from 1-to-1 mentoring network. Yes, that's right. And today we have two wonderful doctors in our midst.
It's a disaster.
We have Dr. Susan Oza and Dr. Tozin Talabi.
Spins, the wind blows.
Yes, doctor will be coming very soon.
Symphony.
But for now, we have Dr. Susan Oza.
Sunshine.
And we are discussing a very, very interesting topic as well.
Wind blows, harmony.
Well, when I first looked at the topic, I thought, oh, if I have my calculator, to add £10 to £10, what more do I need again? Is financial literacy important? That is what we're discussing today. The doctors are going to shine for us on this very topic.
Like a star.
So keep it locked right here. And let's go straight away to the lines and welcome Dr. Susan this very morning. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning. It's been a long time, Papa, isn't it?
I know. I only said it's been a week, only a week.
It's only a week, but yes. I haven't been on the show for I think the last two shows. Isn't it? I've just gotten some of my colleagues to do it.
That's right.
And I have actually enjoyed listening to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
we're not in the hot seat.
That is wonderful leadership, isn't it?
Delegate.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
It's interesting that every day you seem to be looking younger than your age, you know.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure if Samantha is listening to us, she'll be smiling.
The lady of smiles. That's right.
Thank God.
Mm-hmm. Well, I looked at the topic, and as I said, I picked my calculator, and I tried to check if I can still add 15 to 10, 20, and that's all. But maybe it means a lot. So let's begin right away and tell us, what is financial literacy all about?
Yes, yes. And just to say that we are expecting Dr. Tosin Talabi, who is one of our mentors, more like an associate, in that he supports the mentoring organization. And we run a room called Diaspora, Success in the Diaspora, and it's a club, on Clubhouse. Clubhouse is an audio podcast. I'm sure some of your viewers and listeners have heard about Clubhouse. And I know that anytime we run anything on finances, it was quite successful, well subscribed as well. So I thought, well, if it's doing good for our community on Clubhouse, why not bring it to the radio? And the other thing I want to say, this is just a caveat, that we are definitely not we are not financial advisors. This is not at all about financial advising. This is about financial literacy and understanding what finances are all about. So it's mainly coming from experience. So anything that we hear on the show, it is important for people to get independent financial advice. Go to people who have studied finances if they think they need to. And then on the other hand as well, there's so many information out there about finances. So I like the way you started it when you said that, well, if you have your calculator, you add 10 plus 10, and why do you need anything more? And it's amazing the way you started it, because actually financial literacy starts with understanding basic math, because it's all about dealing with money. Finances is dealing with money. And money is a very important thing in our community. And I think it's one of the decisions that we have made, certainly in our organization, to explore a bit more through workshops, because money is important. You can't do anything without it. So financial literacy really is just the understanding of how money works, how money works in general, and how money can work for you to achieve your financial goals, as to whether you are thinking around managing debt, you are thinking about budgeting, you're thinking about investment, you're thinking about pensions. And we should not be under any illusion whatsoever that just because you are highly educated means that you are financially literate. I know that because I have attended events and I've attended a number of seminars, and doctors, because I'm one of them, are as financially literate as it comes. So I put my hand up. I would say that it's in the last couple of years that I've decided to educate myself financially. And one of my mentors is here. That's why I brought Dr. Talabi here. So I'm so pleased that he's here, because he is definitely, in a certain area of finances, he has definitely added value to not only my life, but the life of quite a number of doctors as well. We take him as our mentor, So I'm pleased that Dr. Talabi is here, and I'm just going to mute my button, Dr. Smiley. Dr. Tosin, you're very welcome, and so that you can introduce Dr. Talabi, Dr. Tosin formally.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Susan. Well, we have the full squad. One beautiful woman, sandwiched by two strong men. Yes, Dr. Tosin Talabi is here, right? And as you heard briefly from Dr. Susan, he's added value to himself, although not a financial expert as you heard her talk about, but added value to himself when it comes to financial knowledge. Well, I looked at the accolades, all the things that Dr. Tosin Talabi do, and I was asking, wow, what is a flight surgeon? I don't know about that one. But once he's here, I thought flight surgeon, it means, quite recently we were talking about our president in Ghana taking bath in the air. So I thought flight surgeon is someone who do surgeries in the air. Maybe he will tell us more about that. So let's welcome Dr. Tosin Talabi this morning. Doctor, good morning. I think you're on mute. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Smiley. How
Good
are you?
morning. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, we heard a little about you from Dr. Susan, but once you are here, just tell us a little bit about yourself and the things that you do, apart from what you are going to be telling us this very morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to you, Smiley. Good morning, Dr. Susan. Good morning to your audience. My name is Tosin Talabi. I'm a doctor and I work for the Royal Air Force. I used to work for the NHS as well. But my heartbeat is investment. Money, 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 money. And it's not just about money. To In life, you've got to learn how to make money, keep money, and grow money. But I'll come back to that. Just a little bit of what I do. Um, I'm at a stage now where I like to add value, so I'm an examiner for the faculty. So doctors who want to become specialists like me, I help them, I train them, I mentor them, and help them to get to where I am. I know you asked about flight surgeon. Many people have asked that question. It's very intriguing. Um, well, a flight surgeon does quite a few things. They stabilize patients at the back of a helicopter or a transport aircraft or any platform that flies in the air that is transporting the patient from a spot of injury or a place of war to a hospital. So we do that, and also we once you get to the management level, what we do is we decide the flight condition for that patient. Some patients may not survive the pressurized cabin, so we may have to ask for the cabin pressure to be reduced because of their hemodynamical status. They may not survive that transfer. So we are the ones that decide how fit one is to fly and what condition they fly in. Otherwise, they'll be dead by the time they get to the hospital. So that's what a flight surgeon does. It's a lot of physiology. It's a lot of understanding the hostile nature of altitude as you go up in the air, and how to make sure that hostile nature of altitude does not make your patient worse, and to make sure you keep the patient alive until you get to the hospital. But you're the audience; they don't want to. They don't want to hear about.
That is not why we came anyway.
Yeah, that's not why you came.
But it's good knowledge
yeah,
now. It's good knowledge. Thank you very much for putting that straight for us. Well, Dr. Susan started off by telling us what financial literacy is all about. I'll start with you on that one again. What financial literacy is all about, and then we move on to why it is so important for us to have financial literacy. Over to you, Dr. Tosin.
It's quite important because money is finite. Money is spent and it finishes. It doesn't go on forever. So, and money for now is the medium of transaction that we have. In the past, it used to be traded by barter. I want gold, you give me gold. You want clothes, I give you clothes. So I give what I have, you give me what you have. But now the exchange is money. What people don't understand is you can have a lot of money today. There are bills, there are needs, that money will go. So it is not enough to make money. You have to keep the money and you have to grow the money. It's like anything else. If you are stunted, there's no development. We were born, we learned how to walk, we learned how to run, and then we move forward. So people need to understand that you need to grow money. If you don't grow money, it will stop, it will finish, and you'll be back to square one. A lot of people will focus on making money, make money. And that's why in Africa, most of the time, at least in Nigeria, people are rich today and they're rich for a few years, and the next thing they hear, oh, they're broke. What happened? Is financial literacy. They don't understand the way money works. Money is an exchange. It's meant to grow. Um, Literacy is very important. This is something your audience would understand, because we're very religious in Africa. If you remember the story of the in the Bible that says that somebody was given 1 talent, somebody else was given 5 talents, and the other one was given 10 talents. One of them said, "Okay, you've given me this money. Let me just go and bury it and give it back to you when you come back." The other one traded with it and made extra, and the third one traded with it and made even much more. And this was God relating to them. I said the one that traded much more and made much more money was more favorable, but he was happier with that person because the person grew the money. So I just want people to understand that it's not um, it's not just having the money, making the money. You've got to keep it and you've got to grow it. Um, the other thing people need to understand is you may be doing one particular trade. You may be a broadcaster, you may be a doctor, you may be a trader. That particular area may go up and down in the economy. So once you're comfortable and you make enough money in that area, look for another avenue to make money. So have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 7 if you can. But 3 should be your minimum streams of income. So which means it's not likely that if you're a broadcaster, broadcasting, if you have a tailoring business, tailoring, if you have a transport business, transport, it's not possible that broadcasting, tailoring, and transport are going to suffer economic downturn at the same time. It's not possible. So you've chosen 3 different areas of trade and economy, and you're making streams of income from those areas. So that is financial literacy. That is you understanding that this money needs to grow, is you understanding that you can make money and multiply it and have money from different streams of income. And the final thing I would say before I hand over back to you, Smiley, is that if you're making money just to keep it for yourself, then you're selfish. The reason to make money is to be a blessing to others. It's not to keep it under your bed in your house. It's to bless others and make them. You are a failure if you can't make others what you have become. In money terms, in other terms. The whole idea of growth is to produce more of you and the better of you. And that's why we all want our children to do better, be better, and all of that stuff. It's the same way with money. Find somebody, mentor them, teach them how you've come to where you are, and ensure they don't make the same mistake you've made, and teach them on the path of growth in terms of money. Money should not be thrown away, should not be wasted. You are blessed, you're given the money to be a blessing. I hear people say, I don't know why people rush about trying to make money. I just need a little bit, buy my house, buy my car, and just be comfortable and have enough in savings to eat. You're selfish. There are many people out there who are in need, who will never have the opportunity you have to make money. If you don't need the money, make it and give it to them. You have 2 arms, 2 legs, you have a brain, God has helped you. If you are only thinking about the enough money for yourself, your little family, you're not thinking like that's not financial literacy. And what will happen sometimes is things will change, and all of a sudden, that house, that car, that savings will not be sufficient anymore. And you haven't made plans to grow what you have. Financial literacy is about growing what you have. Even if you don't need it now, somebody else around you, 5 degrees of separation, somebody else around you need that money, need that blessing. So I encourage your audience, make money, grow it, don't be satisfied, don't kill yourself in the process of it, prioritize your spirituality first, your health next, your family and friends next, and then work last. So you're not used to anybody if you are ill. You're not used to anybody if you're ill. So you need to prioritize your health. I'm not saying you should go up and down and do what you need to do to make money. Health first. Make sure you're healthy, you sleep well, you think better, you eat well, you treat yourself, you go and check yourself with a doctor. You are healthy. Your spirituality comes first and then health. And then you need to make sure your family and friends, you are in connection and contact with them. The business and the work comes last. Because when everything goes down, there'll be family and friends there, your health, and you have your spirituality. I think stop down for me because I'm sure you have more questions, and then you can direct me on where you want me to go. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you very much. That is a very interesting intro. You have to grow money and not just keep it, right? It has to grow for you so that it becomes more. And I was thinking you perhaps should add pastor to your list of things you do, because you know the Bible pretty well, quoting us the parable of the talents, which is very, very interesting as well. Now, you spoke about we having at least 3 or even up to 7 streams of income, right? 7, right, doctor? That's what you said, right? Is Dr. Tosin with us? I think he's on mute, isn't it?
No, I think we probably have lost him because his internet. Tosin, are you back?
Well,
Dr. Tosin, I think he's mute. He's probably he's back now.
Back, yeah. So what kind of literacy should we give him about the internet as well? Now he's giving us financial literacy. We should perhaps give him some internet literacy, isn't it? Yes. Dr. Tosin, can you hear us? We lost Dr. Tosin. Well, we will certainly get him once again so we can carry on. But we carry on with Dr. Susan. Doc.
You know, when Dr. Tosin talked about make money, I think for me, one of the interest areas, and I think Dr. Tosin will concur and will come in at a point, is the tools. What tools do we need? What basic tools? So you start from a very basic level in understanding the tools. To understand you first, before you make money, I believe that you have to understand how you get money at all, and how, when you get the money, how do you keep the money? So I'm very, very big on, and I did say to you that just because you are highly educated does not mean that you are also highly educated in the matter of finances. That it's not equivalent. Financial literacy does not mean anything. You have people who earn a lot of money, you have people who are very highly educated, and they are not financially literate. I definitely was not financially literate to at least in the ways of this country, particularly our communities. Some of us have come from somewhere, we live in the diaspora, we've had children in the diaspora, and when you are not financially literate, the first thing you're not going to do is to help your children to become financially literate. And they don't teach financial literacy in the classrooms. You see, and a lot of our children here, what they hear is get credit card. A lot of people understand financial literacy as get credit card without really understanding financial literacy. So I am putting my hand up as one of the people that when I came to this country, I did not understand what do you mean? I thought that, it's quite nice to get credit card and then, spend money on your credit card and pay the minimum. Not understanding that you pay the minimum, you're actually giving money to them. Do you understand? So understanding starts from budgeting. How much comes in and how much goes out. A lot of us, we get the money coming in from work, but we don't really take time to go through our bank account to look at the expenses. The expenses are very important. This is what we are talking about. How do you ascertain that you keep money in the bank? What are the things that are necessary? You'll be surprised. I will give you an example. Just with all the pandemic, I went to my gym and then told them that, look, because they hadn't opened for some time, could they freeze my membership? And they said, oh, yeah, that's fine. We'll freeze your membership. And if we're going to, when we unfreeze it, we will let you know. And of course, the pandemic came back again, the lockdown came back again. And so the unfreezing never happened. So instead of me looking to make sure, have I canceled the direct debit? I didn't. and I was paying my gym membership. I was caught out, and I'm talking about just a few months ago. It's my husband that insisted that let's look through, let's do that periodic looking through the accounts, making sure, things, the direct debits that you've cancelled have been cancelled. Papa Smiley, up to now, I'm one person I talk about financial literacy, and I was still caught out by it. I was paying somebody free money. I'm hoping I'll get it back. I'm sure I'll get it back. But I was paying somebody free money, Papa Smiley. That money that I paid for, I'm putting my hand up. This is me. I'm not pretending I'm perfect, right? But 6 months, okay? 6 months of paying £44 a month. This is money that I have let go where I'm not using it. And it's not that as well. Little direct debits that you've long stopped and you forgot to cancel, things that you are not using, the gym that you are not going, all these things count as money. All these things can boost up your finances. How about things in the house that you don't need? I used to sell on eBay a lot. Do you understand? To raise money. So before financial literacy starts with budgeting, how do you keep the money in your account? How do you prevent wastage? Little common sense things. Do you understand savings? The little money that you can get, would you put it in a savings? What does it, and how do you understand if your bank is giving you a 1% interest, and then you're paying tax on that interest versus an individual savings account called an ISA? People have heard about, ISA. Maybe they may not have read about ISA. So one step of getting towards financial literacy is saying, what is an ISA? Can I go and read about ISA? And then you understand, okay, an ISA means that you can keep up to £20,000 in an individual savings account, and any interest is tax-free in any financial year. When? So why do you put your money in a savings account, very low interest, and then you're being taxed on? You see? So this is an example of financial literacy. You are cognitively, literacy is having an understanding of a subject. That is what literacy is. Financial literacy is having an understanding of how money works. I defined it as how money works and how money works for you. So not just how money, because some people who understand how money works, but they don't know how, and this is where Dr. Tosin's special interest is in. He's a doctor, but he's taught himself and now teaching us and mentoring us on how can you use money to work for you. There are two things. Some people stop at how money works. Some people don't even get there at all. And this is why we're having this conversation. Then some people stop at, okay, I understand how money works. I used to be there. Then that was it. I didn't want to know. And then you go further to how money can work for you to take you towards financial independence and freedom. And that could be another topic we can talk about later on. But, the first step is financial literacy. I can see Dr. Tosin is back.
Yes,
Thank you.
Doc is back. So let's carry on. And I love it when you said you were paying your gym membership for about 6 months without you even knowing. Some of the banks have also, advanced one way or the other, and you can just set your online bank settings to notify you of any money that comes in and goes out. So for instance, not particular, Barclays for instance, even when you spend £1 on your card and you have that settings on your phone, you are notified. Monzo will give you a little bit of that. So there are some banks that have advanced, helping people to gain that financial literacy that caught you out there. Thank you very much, Dr. Susan, for sharing your pretty information with us. So let's go to Dr. Tosin once again. Doctor.
Sorry, I had problems with connection.
All right, no problem. Dr. Susan spoke about the tools for financial literacy, or the tools to use for financial literacy. Well, she hasn't given us any tools. Well, I would say You have mentored her quite well, because in your absence, she took the mantle very, very well. So give us that tools that we need so that we'll be able to manage our finances very well.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, one of the tools you can use is budgeting. I heard Dr. Susan mentioning that. The other thing you can use is an appraisal. You can review your situation, say every 6 months or every year. You set up you come together as a family. Probably every 6 months is better, and you look at what's going in and what's going out, and you decide that, do we really need all of this to be going out? So a financial appraisal is important, and because then you can improve, you can see some of the things that are not necessary. And then the other thing you can use is you need to educate yourself. You need to learn more about money, about finances. You'll be amazed what's on YouTube. You'll be amazed. Podcast, YouTube, just to listen to. Within 2 minutes of listening to somebody, you will know whether they are of use or not. So you don't waste your time or hours. Go on YouTube. There are many nice videos where you can learn about the different ways of making money. Then the other thing you can do is tax. You need to understand your tax, because if you don't know, if you're not paying the right tax, then you're leaking money. You need to ensure that you're tax efficient. Tax evasion is illegal. I'm not saying you shouldn't pay tax. You must pay your tax. You must pay your dues. But there are some things that are allowable, that are allowed. For example, if you're in a company, you can decide to have your annual meeting, annual directors meeting in the same location as your holiday location, and that becomes allowable. If there are 3 directors in your company, and you decide that you want to go to Ghana to do your annual meetings, annual directors meetings, all the expenses are allowable because you are going to Ghana for your annual meeting. Now, you could decide when you get to Ghana to see your family and all of that stuff. That's fine. But otherwise, if you don't have a company as a vehicle, then if everything is as a sole trader, which means all your businesses are in your name, and it's difficult to do that. You can still do it, but it's more difficult to do that. So understanding how to be tax efficient is another tool that you need to use. Education, tax efficiency, and you need to maximize what you have as well, which is Warren Buffett said that to really be financially free, you need to be able to make money whilst you sleep. Okay, which means anything you're doing that you have to do again and again and again to make the same money or more money, you need to start looking for other things that you can do that will make money forever. Whilst you're sleeping, you're making money. One of my specialty, for example, is properties. I front load all the work, find the property, do it up, refinance it, and put a tenant in there. So I front load all the work for 3, 4, 5, 6 months maybe. But then forever, that property is generating income. Then I do it again and I do it again and again. So you need to find a means where you can make money whilst you're sleeping. So I would say the tools are financial appraisal, education, and tax efficiency. That way, you are able to retain more money for growth and to have other sources of other streams of income come on board.
Okay, all right. Budgeting. Dr. Susan spoke a little bit about that. Appraisal, how to use the tax system, and educating yourself. Let's talk a little bit about the budgeting. I know some people are so eager when the new mobile phone comes out. Hey, they want to go and get it. Yes. They want to go and get it. Yes, and some people are on certain tariffs that they don't necessarily even need all the things that it comes with those tariffs. So tell us a little bit about budgeting, okay? How we'll be able to get our budget in shape.
You see, thank you, Papa. One of the things that I don't know, am I echoing?
Yes, I'll just
Mute,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
excellent. So let's
I
carry on.
think, Dr. Tosin, are you mute? Yeah. So if we can mute, yeah. So I always say that when you are thinking about money and budgeting, the reason why you want to budget is to ensure that you have something that you can live by. And then by God's grace, you can even, like what Dr. Stossing said, to even bless other people, because there are a lot of needy people. And the pandemic now, I'm even seeing people who are middle-aged, older people in the streets compared to when we used to see younger people. We're seeing more and more middle-aged people in the street. So budgeting is very important, understanding why. And understanding, you think of money also as when you are young and you are healthy and you are vibrant and you're energetic, you make money. You can work 10 shifts, 6 shifts, 7 shifts, health permitting. But as you get older, the risk for those things, when you do things, an injury, tiredness, all the other chronic illnesses might come up. And then you are thinking about, really, how do you plan towards a day where you cannot do your work, even before retirement or after retirement? You see, so if those sorts of things as part of financial literacy motivate you, then you'll be thinking about how important budgeting is. Okay, so it's just basically your incomings and your outcomings, and this is very, very, very basic. You start your financial literacy with basic things like your salary, understanding your salary, making sure that you look at your your pay slip. People, we don't look at our pay slips. If you don't look at your pay slip, if you are cheated, how would you know? And talking about tax, and again, me, Papa Smiley, me, I don't hide things. There are things that if I don't have to say, then I won't say it. But if there are things that somebody will learn, I'm happy. Because, there are sometimes you learn things from experience. But I remember years ago, I used to work as a doctor. By the same time, I do what we call locums, and a lot of nurses, a lot of your listeners might be even nurses who do agency. They work in the NHS and will be doing agency. So it's very important, because some of these local agencies, what they used to do is that when I worked for them, they said, oh, we've taken the tax out. Okay. And then I was younger. I was quite young. So I just believed them, and I was not financially literate. And I didn't realize that they are taking the tax out, but they are taking at basic rates, not at 40%. So the tax man came to me and said, you know what, doctor, it's not your fault. There was some system that messed up. So then they did something with me over a few years to pay the tax bill off. So you can't be caught out, wittingly or unwittingly. So where people are actually thinking that they are doing anything extra, and it's quite a sizable income coming in, and so they don't declare it. One day, the taxman can come knocking on your door, and it can actually become expensive, and especially when they are demanding the money that you pay it. And this brings me to the topic of credit files. Look, if you are listening or viewing and you don't have an idea of what your credit file looks like, I really would encourage you. There are three big credit companies that anytime you go for credit, whoever it is will apply and try and see whether you are credit worthy. Experian, Equifax, I can't remember the third, but I know of a one that started recently called Credit Karma. Credit Karma you sign up free, they will give you everything. Where your credit score is. I just very recently did a mentoring with someone around finances, and I encouraged them to go to Credit Karma. Actually, what they saw was actually quite pleasant because they thought their situation was worse than it was. Okay, and then they started taking steps to try and resolve the issue, which I'm so pleased because that means I've added good value. So Credit Karma will give you everything. Okay, Experian will give you credit score, but you have to pay a subscription to see your full credit report. Equifax, one of the top credit, Equifax and Experian. Equifax will give you all your credit reports, but will not give you your credit score. You see, and you are signing up free. All these things you sign up free. You want more, then you pay a little bit. You don't have to pay them a subscription. You can sign up free just to give you an account. Look at why did they decline you when you applied? Why did they decline you? Is something on your file that shouldn't be there? Are you on the electoral roll? People get letters to be on the electoral roll and they ignore it. It affects your credit score. You know, people default. It affects your credit score when you are not paying things, you know, and you have not resolved the issue. If you're going to be late, so we're talking budgeting, you're going to be late with the payment, it's better you resolve the issue. You ask yourself, do you need it? Okay, you are in it. How do you raise income? Cut something to pay it. Because once you default, it's on your credit file. And then if you can't pay anything, then we've got county court judgment, bankruptcies, that then puts you in the debt for 6 years. You see, that is why, especially also for people who are listening, doctors, business people, whatever business you are doing, you yourself, Papa Smiley, with your business you are running, if you have to know your credit file, you do not know. With fraud, people are using people's identity. And that is one of the beautiful things about credit files, because they will alert you, you go in, you see an application that you don't recognize, you can actually call them. And then again, people who are listening who are divorced, okay? And if you are divorced, and through the marriage, the issue was around finances, and your ex-partner's things are still on your file, it can affect you, particularly if they go on and keep on doing some stupid things. So there is something called financial association, where you can actually get them to financially disassociate as long as you've shown them a certificate that this is the divorce certificate. So this is one value that I would like to add. It's so important who you associate with, because on your credit file, you have your old names, your previous names, your addresses, including anybody who you've connected to. You see? So having an understanding of your credit file can help you also to understand the reason why you need to budget, the reason why you have to look at spending, understanding salary, and all that. So we will come now, after I give Dr. Tosin the floor to speak. We'll talk about things like pensions. We'll talk about some financial products that are there in the system that can also help the children. I'm telling you, some of the stuff that I knew, if I knew them when I was having children 20-something odd years ago, I would be laughing all the way to the bank. Oh. This one I'm adding, this is Ghana. Sorry, Dr. But Ghana, when you want to stress it, you go,
That's right. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Susan. Yes. Let's go to Dr. Tosin once again. Doc. Okay, I'll unmute you. Excellent. Well, you've heard Dr. Susan. She's spoken passionately about budgeting. Do you have anything to add on that before we move on to possible ways that you said 7? We should have at least 7 streams of income. If you want to share a little bit on what Dr. Susan said, and then help us to know which other streams of income other than having our salary or our wages that we can use to get more money. Over to you, Dr. Towson.
Yes, I think Susan has done justice to the budget. I'm not sure there's not much I can say about that. The only thing I would say is that a few years ago, I came to a decision. I'm not going to buy anything again. I just want to tell your audience that you have all that you need. Okay? Apart from food, you have all that you need. So when you want to buy something new, ask yourself this question. What would happen if I don't have this? And if you can't answer, oh, I'm going to be destitute, I'm going to lack, I'm going to suffer. If you can't answer that question, don't buy it. You don't need it. I see people, they buy things for emotional reasons. You make financial decisions, not emotional decisions. Oh, my friend sells these clothes. I just want to be nice and buy it because my friend sells it. Or my friend sells this wig. I just want to. Now, do you need the wig? Because what would happen is the wig will end up under the bed after a few days, or the clothes, or the whatever you bought. Do you need? Always ask yourself, do you need it? I've come to a decision that I only replace things. I won't just buy a shirt because it's £300-400. It's cheap. I better buy it now because I won't get it for that price anymore. No. Do I need a shirt? So when my shirt tears, I go out and look for a shirt. If I have to buy a new shirt because I really like it, I have to give one away. You've got to give one away. You've got to recycle. You've got to recycle. So that's anything I'm going to add. Before you buy, ask yourself, do I need it? And if you say, okay, I need it, but what would happen if I don't have it? Do I need it now? For example, I know some things I need now, but I'm waiting for the Christmas sales before I buy them because I don't need them urgently. I don't need to buy them now. I can afford to buy them, but why buy them when I can buy them 50% less in a few months' time? If I need it now, then I go and get it now. So also you need to dampen the flow of the outgoing. Yeah, in terms of streams of income, I think one should start with 2 or 3, but your goal should be to get to 7 or more. Your salary is good, but at some point you need to start looking beyond salary. And at some point, some people are blessed. They get to a level where they've replaced their salary and they've lost passion in what they do, and they can actually exit their work. I'm still working as a doctor because I actually enjoy my work. I could easily go full time into other things, but I actually enjoy what I do. So I stay salaried. The other areas is you can write a book. I'm sure Dr. Susan will tell you more about that. And she's been mentoring me and telling me to write a book because my life experience is so full. It's full that I can write 3 books. I've started. I've done Afghanistan, I've done Iraq twice each. I've done Falkland Islands. I've been to all these places and I have the experience in my head. I've been in the military. I've lived in Nigeria. I've lived in this country. I have a child with autism. I've got life experiences. I've been shot at. I've been in a helicopter that almost crashed. So I have this huge experience. I need to start writing them down. So you can write a book, and that's a way of making money. You can go into properties, and that's what I do. I have a property business. You can help other people go into property. I also have another company that helps people go into properties. You can do stocks and shares. You have to understand it. You have to learn it. You can do transport business. One of my mentees in Nigeria recently said to me, "Oh, I want to do a Uber business because he does." And this is where it's good to have streams of income. He does Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Things are not really looking great at the moment for him. He makes a lot of money. He understands it. He makes a lot of money from cryptocurrency, and things are not looking great. And all of a sudden, he's in trouble. And I said, "Well, have you thought about streams of income?" He said, "Oh, well, he just focused on crypto because crypto was making him money. But then crypto is down and he's having a problem." I said, "Okay, do you have savings?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, why don't you do an Uber business?" He said, "I haven't thought about it." And it's where he lives, the city he lives, I think the largest city in West Africa. The city he lives, Uber is working. Uber makes money. He said, "Oh, I haven't thought about it." He said, "Okay, I don't have enough money to buy Uber." I said, "Okay, why don't you buy a bike?" I don't know what you call it in there, but bike to ferry people in the villages, motorbike. He said, "Oh, okay, I have money to buy a bike." I said, "Okay, good. So buy a bike, give it to somebody to ride it, and make money every day." Now, that was a few months back. He's bought the second one, and he sees me like a god. And I said, "No, no, no, this just nothing to do with me. He's just thinking about other streams of income." And he's thinking of it just a couple of months ago. He's thinking of buying a second one, and like that. So there's transport, your salary, there's transport, there's properties, there's writing of books. But always start with what you know. Okay? If you don't know anything, go with somebody that knows who can teach you about it. If you don't know anything, what is your passion? Do you enjoy acting? What do you enjoy doing? Then try to monetize what you enjoy doing. People have made money by cooking. You're a good cook. Use the talent. There's a need. Food will always have a need. If you're a good cook, okay, learn how to package it and make it go further. Find big companies in your area where you can package it and go and sell at lunchtime. Find you have a talent. What are your talents? Are you a good speaker? Are you a good cook? Whatever it is that you have, go find somebody who can help you to monetize that talent. You can always monetize your talent. So those are the streams of income I can think of. There are loads and loads and loads. But use one. What we do, I have properties now because I'm a well-paid doctor over the years. So use one to feed the other. So I used my medicine and education to feed properties. Now I'm using properties to feed other areas of income. So use one to feed the other, and then move on and feed more and feed more. And what I've also realized is that, like Zig Ziglar would say, one of the psychologists, that you can have all you want in life, you can have everything, if you just help enough other people have what they need, as much as they need. So it's all about mentoring, helping others, showing others the way, and it's a win-win. And then we can carry people along. So look around you, be innovative, think outside the box. What talent do I have? What is my passion? And learn how to monetize that talent or that passion. But don't stick to one. Get the second, get the third. Once you get the third and you have the income coming in and you're comfortable, go for the fourth. At the third, relax and appraise your situation once you have 3 streams of income and see what else that can be done out there. The other thing you can do is, even if you don't have the passion, if you don't think you have a talent, or maybe you have the money, look around you and see a talented person who doesn't have the money. And you can join the venture. You've got the money, but there's this guy who is very talented, maybe he's an artist or whatever he is, but he doesn't have the money. But you know how to monetize that talent. And you come together and say, look, you've got this talent. You don't know how to monetize it. I know how to monetize this your talent. I will help you monetize it. I will split the income. So it's about looking for people, looking for talents, and monetizing all these things. So those are the streams of income. But before I go, I will tell people, if you have the means, go buy a property. I'm very passionate about generational wealth. It's something we Africans don't understand yet. Okay, generational wealth, because you see a typical African that is very wealthy. When they die, the wealth dies with them, and you wonder, but what happened to all the cars, all the houses? What happened to all the industries, all the things that he had? What happened to them? Generational wealth is about putting systems in place. Trust, for example, where your children cannot destroy your legacy. You put a system in place, a trust system in place, whereby your children can earn from the trust, but they can't just sell everything. So that trust goes on to their children's children and their children's children. And how the European that are very wealthy. That's why they've transferred their wealth from generation to generation, because they put it in a trust, and their children cannot bastardize that trust. They can't sell things. They tighten everything. It's all legally packaged because they can earn from the trust. Their children can earn from the trust. The children can add to the properties of the trust, and then they get returns from the trust. It's also good for tax efficiency. It's also good for, these things happen. We don't like talking about them. You give a property to your son or your daughter, they get divorced. The other partner gets half of it. But if that property you didn't give it to them, you put it in a trust, that property does not belong to your son or daughter. So the spouse can't get 50%. That property belongs to a trust. But your child can earn from that trust. So your spouse, that your child's spouse is only entitled to half of the income that child earns from it, not the property. So there are many ways. I'm very passionate about generational wealth, and I think it's something we should all look at. If you have 3 or more properties, you should be looking at trust and ensuring that your wealth goes from generation to generation. So those are the little things if I can just recap: salary, books, transport, food, properties is big, hairdressing. I know somebody who's in the properties now. She started by making hair. She has a talent. Was making hair while she was in the university. And from making the hair, she made a bit of money and she bought one property. So those are the areas, streams of income that you can get into. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc. You said quite a lot. I can see you have a lot of financial philosophies that help you and pushes you to make a lot of money. In our language, we say epokra is yotogum. That is to say, even the ocean, it takes more water, right? Yes, more water falls into the ocean. The ocean is the biggest of all the water bodies. And then the interesting thing about the ocean as well is it is at the bottom of all the water bodies. So what happens is all the waters from the upstream and what have you, they end up at the ocean. So one thing that comes with financial stability is humility. If you are able to be humble, you get more coming in. And you spoke about turning your talent into a stream of income. Well, it's pretty obvious that we all have some inbuilt talents within us, and if we begin to sit down, put them all together, and see how we'll be able to monetize some of them, it will amaze you as to the things that you can do. I talk on the radio, and I do play at events as well. So one time, a friend of mine saw me playing at a funeral, and I said, "Oh, I didn't know you were a DJ too." Then I realized I need to do more on the marketing side as well, because yes, so yes, I do play music, and I know of a certain program called Success Genius. It is being handled by a very, very noble man, Brother Ishmael Tete, and that program helps you to identify more than 100 things that you do, and you scale it all the way down to the things that you love doing and the ones that you can actually make money out of it. So I think you spoke very well on those areas as well. Speaking about other streams of income, Doc said she's been selling on eBay a lot, right? And now they have Facebook Market as well. So the junk that you have that you are not using, just go on Facebook Market. I love that bit as well. And you also spoke about you not buying things that you might not need, right? I know someone. There was a certain video of a certain lady who has about 100 or 200 pairs of shoes. The woman, something else altogether. Yes, shoes, and I think that someone like that will need your support, will need your help, so that they can convert those shoes into a capital to buy a motorcycle and give it out to someone to make some more money. I'll go back to Dr. Susan for some few words before I come to you for your closing remarks. Generational wealth, that's one thing that you also touched on, and buying properties. I know some people may be living in council flats and or council houses, and then after some time they are given the opportunity to own those flats. Maybe Dr. Susan will say a little bit about that, but if not, when I come back to you, you touch a little bit on that so that people will be able to get that idea if they need to make some inquiries as to they have the opportunity to own their council flats and what have you. You just give them the guidance. So over to you, Dr. Susan, for some little things, and then we can go to Dr. Susan again.
I will provide some few nuggets and then leave the building aspect and the owning property aspect to Dr. I guess because I know of some of my relations years and years and years ago that bought their council flats and they've moved on to other great things. Okay. Talking about buying things, women, we love to buy. Okay. We love to buy things. And I know you use the example of 200 pairs of shoes. Women like to buy shoes, handbags. But honestly, think about, okay, if you buy that, if you can afford to buy the Jimmy Choos or your whatever designer bag, either second hand or first hand, think about the fact that one day that Jimmy Choo, you actually, when you want to sell that Jimmy Choo shoes, you will get something back. It may not appreciate, but you might find yourself in a bit of a fix and you might get something back. So what I'm trying to say is that even some of the things that we buy, you need to think investment. That bag that you are buying, are you going to go to the market and buy 100 bags that will just, fall apart? Or you buy your 1 or 2 very good quality bags that you can use for a long time, pass it on, or maybe even sell to the secondhand market. Because we know that in Europe, we call it vintage. And vintage, especially designer vintage, is huge. I'll give you an example. I love going through, I am very much big on antique. I'm an antiques collector. I took it from my dad. I look for things, antiques. It's one of the hobbies that I have. And in the future, I'm hoping that I'll go on and do antique fairs. So I don't buy lots of junk. I always say that I've got this eye. It's a blessing. There was one day I walked into a charity shop. I looked at jewelry. My special interest is jewelry. I used to sell jewelry, both modern, vintage, and antique. I don't do the selling now. I've stopped selling, but I'm into those things. So I walk into a jewelry shop and I see this jewelry. It's rhinestones. It looks vintagey. I looked at it, turned it around. Looked at it, and I couldn't see, but I saw it was marked. When you see jewelry that is marked, you know that it's going to come from something. Anyway, so I went home, got my magnifying glass. It happened to be a brand, Christian Dior necklace from 1950 something. And that particular designer had only designed for Christian Dior for 4 years. And his things are so collectible. When I bought it for 5 quid, I looked on eBay and they were selling it for £500. On the worldwide, anywhere you went and you put that particular Christian Dior necklace in. Yeah, I've found things on Burberry. Do you understand? And again, what did our mothers give us? What did our grandmothers give us? Those stones, Ghanaian stones, those days they used to deal in stones and they deal in gold, and you can see Asians will buy gold for all these things. So it also depends on when you are buying. It doesn't mean that we should not buy, but when you buy, apart from the usual taking care of yourself, and of course we need leisure and everything, sometimes also think around quality, instead of quantity, so I wouldn't buy 10,000 things. And then the next thing I want to come to is when you are in this country, you have things like, we're thinking legacy, property, we have to understand inheritance tax. We have to understand capital gains tax. This is all part of the financial literacy. We have to understand pensions, okay? workplace pensions, those who are listening to me and they are in the NHS, when you can ask the NHS, we call it statements. You can ask the NHS for your pensions, the NHS pensions, for your reward statements. It will tell you what your pension is doing. And when you are 55, you can go to your NHS pension person in your hospital, and they can tell you and they'll give you all sorts of things. And there are now new pension changes that have come called the MacLeod judgment that actually affect people, especially in the NHS, who are high taxpayers. All these things we have to understand it. You can do self-invested pensions. It's called SIP. You can do a self-invested pension for your child. It's called junior SIP. Self-invested pension, where you are putting money and the government is giving you something back. Then you can have something called a lifetime ISA. We've mentioned ISA. You have a cash ISA in your bank. Then you have your stocks and shares and stocks ISA. All have to add up to your 20,000 allowance, where you get some tax-free thing. And then you have lifetime ISA, where you can take this from between 18 years of age to 39, which can contribute to your first home up to £450,000, or you leave it in and take it out when you are 60. That is there. Then let's think insurance products. Insurance. You don't only have to have insurance because you've got a house. You have insurance even for when something happens to you, and they'll give your kids something for burials and all that. And wills. In this country, if you don't put especially when you're not married, or you're not in a relationship and you don't put your things in order, it is not automatic that your things will go to your children. I have seen this before. So wills are important as well. And then fraud. One of the things Dr. Smiley talked about, Dr. Smiley, I've given you Dr. Smiley. Papa, you talked about was bank apps, okay? But we also get cold calls. We get cold emails. If you don't understand finance and fraud, anybody can do things with your account. You don't know what's going on with your credit file. So all this is also very, very, very important. So I think what I've done is I've touched on all that. And then coming back to what Dr. Tosin said in the first instance, apart from all this, if you are not healthy, if you don't make an attempt to honor the body God has given us, the body is a temple of God, and we stuff and eat everything, and we don't exercise. When we get to the age where we can't work, we will not have the health to be able to enjoy the money. So just reiterating what Dr. Tosin said, and as a doctor, I will always bring the health and physical fitness in. It is important that when you are looking at your finances, you approach it the same way as your health, the work-life balance, the mental health. It's not just physical health. Do you have do you balance so that you have leisure? Do you enjoy your money? Are you giving? It is such a blessing to bless other people. Do you know that in this country, you get, when you have a business and you give to a charity, it is taken out of your tax. Dr. Tosin, please correct me if I'm wrong. You are even blessed when you even give to people. So what is it? You are getting even tax rebate when you bless people. If somebody sets out an NGO in Ghana and you are using some of that money from your business to bless them, okay? Or in Africa or here, it can count as long as you check with your accountant. And please let us remember to also take accountants that are properly certified, who are honest. And then we should try also to be good stewards of the money God has given us and get proper accounting. It's so important. I look at it as the money is not mine. It's fine. Let me take some and let the government take some. Otherwise, then if I pay more, I don't want to pay more. I've had that experience where I paid the tax because somebody made, luckily they didn't do interest because they said it wasn't my fault. So financial literacy, with all this, it's important to get financial advice, especially for people like myself, that if you are in your 50s, early 50s, mid 50s, you know that retirement is coming in, whether you are 60, 66, understand your national insurance, your state pension, understand your workplace pension, look at things like insurance, your wills, your health, and start beginning to understand. We can't keep on thinking that our children are going to be looking, especially if you give birth here. When you give birth in this country, these children that we give birth to them here, they're like, I'm not saying anymore. It's not like us that we are brought up in a way. So your parents, your parents can put the insurance in you a bit. But this one is not guaranteed. If it's a blessing, it's plus when they are okay. You know what? We can't put all our eggs in. Our children will look after us. These Oyibo children, So we have to look at it as being self-sufficient and also looking at our health. That is all that I'll add to it, and I'll leave it to Dr. Tosin to perhaps, if you can, just wrap up the whole thing for us, Dr. Tosin. Thank you.
All right, and over to you, Dr. Tosin. I'll unmute you. Let's unmute you. Okay, unmute yourself, Doc.
Okay, sorry about that. I was talking to myself. We've talked about a lot of stuff, but I just want to recap. I just want to recap and say one of the things I want us to go away with is, yes, we need to make money, but we need to keep the money and we need to grow the money. I use 3 M's. Make, manage, multiply. Make, manage, multiply your money. So that way it's easier to understand. I also want to leave us with, that's one point. Second point is Life ISA. If you are under 30, you are guaranteed to have £1 million in your account by age 55. There is an algorithm. Put it in Google. There is an algorithm. I think it's about £150. So if you pay a particular amount of money, if you have, I believe, £10,000 and you start with that, is it 5,000? I can't remember. But it's a small figure. You can even borrow it if you want. Put the money there and top it up with about 150, 170 every month. You are guaranteed. So if you want to be guaranteed a millionaire at 55, Life ISA. You put the money, government adds to it, you will get £1 million in your account age 55, as long as you're under 30. So everybody under 30 should go and start that. Research it, learn about it, know the exact amount. You cannot afford that monthly payment. If you don't have the bulk 5,000 or whatever it is that you need to put in there, borrow it. Okay? That is one way of guaranteeing that you'll be a millionaire at age 55, if nothing else works. Of course, you're still working, you're investing in the other things you're doing, but that guarantees you £1 million. And then the third thing I want to leave us with is everyone should go and get a property. Oh, but I don't have money. I can't buy a property. You need 3 things to have a property. And this country helps us to leverage. Unlike in Africa, where everything is cash. This country has institutions that help you to leverage. I have a lot of properties, but I don't really have them. The bank owns 70% of them or 60% of them. You think you have them. They're not yours. They belong to the bank. They're in my name. I own 30% of them. But the reason I own them is for income. There will be a few of them I will pay off for inheritance, but for income. So you need 3 things. You need money, time, and knowledge. Now, if you have 2 of those, you can buy property. Let's give an example. If you have time and knowledge, but you don't have money, you can buy a property. How do you get the time? You're a young person. Stop feeding on Netflix. okay, and go and learn about property. They are all over YouTube. Don't pay for any education. You will get a lot of people asking to come and pay 10,000 pounds, 5,000 pounds to come and educate yourself. There are free education on Google and podcast. When you start making money from properties, then you can go on education to step you up. Don't start with education. So stop Netflix, go on Google, YouTube, and learn about properties, the different strategies. So once you have the time and the knowledge, then come to somebody like me, not me, but somebody like me, and say, look, I have the time and I have the knowledge. I don't have the money. We can do this together. Now, once you have the time and knowledge, two things: time, knowledge, money will come. If you have money and knowledge, the time will come. If you have money and time, the knowledge will come. Yeah, because time, educate yourself. So as long as you have two of those three, if you have money and you don't have time and you don't have knowledge, the money will go. There are a lot of people there that will relieve you of the money. A lot of people that the money will go and it's wasted. So you need two of those three things. Now there are different strategies in properties. That's why I say you need money, time, and knowledge. You can do what is called buy, refurbish, refinance, rent, and repeat. That's a very common strategy. So you buy the property, you force appreciation by adding value to it. Yeah. Then you refinance it, take some money out. I know it's a bit technical. I won't go into technical details, but it's not just buy rent. There are many strategies, and the only way you will know about them is to learn about them. There's the BRR, there's rent to rent, there's service accommodation, there's HMO. There are loads of things you can do. But the only way you are going to know about them is to learn about them. If you are armed with that information, okay, and you have time on your hands, and you're a young man or a young woman, you can go to somebody like me or and say, look, mom, dad, uncle, whatever, I have this strategy. I know about it. I have the time. I will do the legwork. I will run around. I just need X amount of money to get this going. Once this is making money, then we'll buy our first house. Okay? So you don't have to own it. You can control it. Now, the last thing I'm going to leave you with is anything that moves, floats, or fly. Moves, float, fly. Don't buy. Lease, don't buy. Control it. Control, don't buy. The only thing you should buy is something that is static. Things that move, don't buy. It's a waste of money. I'll give you an example quickly. Rather than buy a car for £50,000, put £5,000 and lease it. Maybe you pay £400 a month. Now, people will say, but that's just a waste. No, that £400 is coming from 2 of your houses that you're renting out, not the one paying for it. Yeah? Rather than buy a £50 million plane, lease it. This is what the rich people do. They control things. So you can do it in property as well, in a strategy called rent to rent. I'm not going to go into all that because it's very technical. So try to control things. You don't have to own. Once you control and you start making the money, then you can start to own. Control, then own. If you're thinking of owning, you need a lot of money. Control first. Make money, have a stream of income coming in, then you start to own. So I think I've left us at four good things that we can go with. And so there are opportunities out there. Just open your eyes, talk to people, learn about stuff, and it's gonna be fine. Everything will be all right. Go out there and prevail and conquer. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Papa, sorry, Papa, can I add another tip? Mm-hmm. There's a book called Property Investment for Beginners by Rob Dix, ROB, then DIX. And then another thing I find very useful, surprisingly, it's called Apple News. I'm sure Apple News flashes on people's, it honestly, they do have a bit of the trashy thing going on, but honestly, they are business information. So for those of you who are listening, if you have, for example, a business, again, that can pay for these things, because then you don't pay out of your pocket. You can actually, when you're doing your tax, you can actually put it towards it, because a lot of the business information, everything from buying a home, in pensions, things that are happening, all that is, I find it very, very useful, and I'm getting a lot of, other diverse information, but I'm getting a lot of information from there. And then the last thing I also want to add to Dr. Tosin's is, let's not forget making sure that no matter what you do, there's always emergency money. Yeah, it's always good to have some access to cash, where, whether it's sitting in your ISA and you've not used all into going into investment, but you can have access to it. And I'm not pleased, your credit card is fine. Credit card, if you have a good manageable credit card, let's remember that one, we've said that no to paying your minimum. If you can settle your credit card bill balance every single month, do it. And of course, you can get emergency money from your credit card. But having access to cash, a small amount of cash, if, to get you, how it is with Ghana and funerals and everything else. So it's very, very important. So I just thought I'll add that value to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What we have learned today is a confirmation of something I know Dr. Tosin knows is in the Bible. For lack of knowledge, my people perish. We have furnished ourselves with a lot of financial knowledge. And I made mention of Brother Ishmael Tete. He says he defines money as the value of service rendered. That is his definition for money. The value for service rendered. And he puts it very simple. As long as we are here to serve, we are here for money. As long as we are in this, I know Dr. Tosin will like that. We are here to serve. If your money or whatever you have become, you can't help someone to become what you have become, you are being a waste. So we are here to serve. So if we are here to serve and value, money is the value of service rendered, then we are here because of what? Money. As simple as that. And I think we've gotten pretty much information today. Well, I think we will have to do a part 2 because there are several more questions. There are several areas that Dr. Tosin said, this is more technical, so I can't go into it. We want to know. We want to know all those technicalities. So we have to come back. I'll thank you, the two docs, Tao Bakaru. Yes, I think. Yes, Bakari. Yeah, Tao Bakari says, thanks, docs. Yes, they've been very, very amazing for us this very morning. So thank you once again, and thanks to you, One-to-One Mentoring Network, for giving us such very, very wonderful education. Visit them at I hope I get it right, 1-to-1, 1 mentoring network.com, right? Excellent. Yes, visit them there, and they have so many ways of helping you, being a single parent, you needing a mentor, whatever area that you find yourself in. Definitely One-to-One Mentoring Network is there for you. Obviously, if they have Dr. Tosin there, then you should know they have all covered for you. Thank you very much and enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.
And not know what state of God you are, it's a disaster. To not know your purpose is a tragedy, it's a disaster. To live and not know what state of God you are, it's a disaster. To not know your purpose is a tragedy, it's a disaster. You may tomorrow be gone, tomorrow may never come. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up to purpose for living now. That in this you will build your soul. In this you will be the difference. In this you will be the answer to the prayers of humanity. In this you will build your soul. In this you will be the difference. In this you will be the answer to the prayers of humanity. To live and I know what state of God you are. It's a disaster. To not know your purpose is a tragedy. It's a disaster. Sunshine, rainfall, half spins, the wind blows, harmony, symphony, purpose. Sunshine, rainfall, half spins, the wind blows, harmony, symphony, purpose. The world is waiting on you. Do you feel free? The world is waiting on you. Shine, oh shine, shining like a star. Oh, shining so bright. Ooh, ooh, yeah. You make tomorrow be gone. Tomorrow may never come. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up to purposeful living now. And this you will build your soul. And this you will be the difference. And this you will be the answer to the prayers of humanity. And this you will build your soul. And this you will be the difference. And this you will be the answer to the prayers of humanity. To live and I know what state of God you are. It's a